Good morning, fourth graders. At this time, I would like you to have everything out on your desk that you would need for language. So if you would take a moment and get those. When everything is out for language, if you would please stand and sing your preposition song with Mrs. Osborne. All right, on the board, you should see several words and their definitions. I would like to begin with the word except at the very top and read it exactly as it is written on the screen. So let's begin. Accept, verb, to receive, to agree. Now, Mrs. Osborne, choose one student to give an example of how to use accept in a sentence. All right, let's move to the next word. Let's say it together. Affect, noun, result, consequence. Choose another student to give a sentence for affect. Now let's move on to the next one. Let's read it together. Burst, verb, to break apart, explode. Now let's do fewer. Fewer, adjective, used to compare two nouns that can be counted. Let's read the next one. Affect, verb, to influence, to act upon. The next, except, preposition excluding. Now, I want you to take a look for a moment at the first word and the last word. Except, except. You need to remember what part of speech they are. That will help you to remember when and how to use those words in a sentence. Accept is a verb, meaning to get something or to receive. I accept your invitation. Except is a preposition, to exclude. I will go every day except Sunday. I also want you to look at affect and affect. Affect, now, is a noun, the result or the consequence. The effect of the high temperature made the children sweat. Affect. Affect is a verb. Practicing your prepositions will affect your quiz grade. So remembering what those words mean and what part of speech they are will help you to use them correctly in a sentence. I apologize for part of the sentence being off the screen. It says, suddenly, Grace thought she saw a shark. Now, what I would like to do in this section is I'm going to call on some people to give me a specific part of the sentence. So, Alejandro, What is one of the verbs in the sentence? Wesley, what is the subject of the sentence? Mario, what type of sentence is this? Anderson, what is the pronoun? Matthias, what is the direct object? Alexa, what is the adjective? Olivia, what is the verb? Yes, there was a second verb. So whichever verb Alejandro gave, give the second verb. Jace, what is the adverb in this sentence? So if we work this correctly, we have the adverb being suddenly. Grace is a subject. Thought is the action verb. She is a pronoun. Saw is an action verb. Is the adjective. Sorry for the drawings. Trying to get my letters done here. And shark would be the direct object, and the type of sentence was exclamatory. So there are the parts of speech and type of sentence for this sentence. Now we're going to begin discussing prepositional phrases. You've been working for quite a while now on identifying the preposition, and we did a little bit of prepositional phrase work yesterday on our workbooks. Now, if I were to ask you, where is your language book? It might depend on the time of day. It might be by my desk, under my chair, on my desk, in my backpack. Those are all places where your language book could be. I might ask you, when did you go to recess? Or when do we go to recess? We might say after lunch, before lunch, at 10:15, before science. And all of those questions would answer where we have been. We use prepositional phrases to add information to our sentences. When you add prepositional phrases to your sentences, you communicate effectively by giving the reader a better picture of what you are saying. So we see here that I have 3 sentences. Now I would like you to use your whiteboard, and I want you to finish these sentences with prepositional phrases. I enjoy painting. And you could answer it when or where. The paintbrushes are mine. Painting is relaxing. So I'm going to give you a few moments to write a prepositional phrase that would correctly finish these sentences. And I'm going to have Mrs. Osborne choose 3 students to come to the board and rewrite or add their prepositional phrase to the sentences. Before we begin the workbook pages, I would like you to go to page 156. Go to page 306 and do the 5-minute review on lesson 156. Page number 306, lesson number 156. Mrs. Osborne will go over the answers with you in just a few moments. All right, now let's look at our workbook pages from today. We are going to be adding information to each sentence by writing a prepositional phrase. So everyone's answers are going to vary. So I'm going to give you about 4 minutes to complete that section and maybe allow Mrs. Osborne to call on a few of you to read your sentences out loud. So go ahead and do all of section A. All right, now we're going on to Think B. There are 2 instructions, but there are actually 3 actions that you need to take and do to complete this section. The first one is draw parentheses around each prepositional phrase. Second, circle the object of the preposition is part B of instruction 1. And then instruction 2 is mark the sentence. That means we are drawing a line between the subject part and the verb part, and we underline the subject once and the verb twice. So let's just do number 1 together. So let's read this sentence together. 3, 2, 1, begin. Some sidewalk art has the illusion of 3 dimensions. So class, what is the prepositional phrase? You should have said of 3 dimensions. Now, what would be the object of the preposition? The object of the preposition would be dimensions. It is the noun. In this sentence, class, what is 3? 3 would be an adjective telling us how many dimensions there are. So now we're going to mark the sentence. Where is the verb? The verb is has. What has? Art has. So our line would go after art, underline art once, and has twice. Now I'm going to have Mrs. Osborne call on maybe 2 or 3 people to do each sentence, doing each part of the sentence, while everyone else works at their desk. And Mrs. Osborne can review the answers with you when that section is completed. Section C says to write an interrogative sentence with 2 prepositional phrases. Class, what punctuation would an interrogative sentence end with? That is correct. It would be a question mark. So now you need to write a questioning and interrogative sentence with 2 prepositional phrases. Please do that now. All right, the last section is remember D. Mark the sentence. Underline the correct verb in parentheses twice. Watch for compound verbs. I'm going to have Mrs. Osborne call one student at a time to come to the board and choose their answer, and then review those answers together as a class. Well, that concludes the lesson for today. Continue to work on your prepositions and have a good rest of your day.